Welcome to another episode of Legends, Lore, and Lies, a podcast where the stories of the mysterious and unexplained come to life. I'm your host, delving deep into the legends that lurk in the shadows of our world. Today we embark on a journey to unravel the mystery of Colossal Claude, the legendary sea monster of the Pacific Northwest. Imagine, if you will, the misty waters of the Columbia River in Oregon. It's here that Colossal Claude, a creature as mystifying as Bigfoot, first made waves. Our tale begins in the 1930s with the crew of the Columbia River lightship claiming the first sighting of this elusive beast. They discovered a creature of staggering size, about 40 feet in length, with an 8-foot-long neck, a robust body, and appearance reminiscent of a serpentine aquatic giraffe. Through the years, Colossal Claude has captivated the imaginations of locals and visitors alike. Descriptions of Claude vary, but most agree on its long neck, rounded body, and a head that looks like an eerie, almost otherworldly gaze. Theories about Claude's true nature range from a surviving plesiosaur to a giant jellyfish or whale, but his true identity remains a tantalizing mystery. What fuels these legends? Is Claude a mere figment of collective imagination, a misidentified marine animal, or something else entirely? As we venture into this captivating tale, we'll explore the sightings, the stories, and the speculation surrounding Oregon's own maritime mystery. Let's explore the historical accounts and eyewitness testimonies of Claude's appearances. Imagine this scene. It's the early 1930s. The Pacific Northwest is a land of dense forest and misty rivers, a perfect setting for myths and legends to take root. And it's here, along the Columbia River, that our story begins. The first recorded sighting of Claude was made by L.A. Larson, the first mate of the Columbia River lightship, in 1934. Imagine his astonishment when he spotted a 40-foot creature with a long neck, a large round body, and what was described as an evil, snaky look to its head. Other crew members joined in, observing this mysterious beast through binoculars. But what exactly did they see? Descriptions of Claude vary, but many agree on significant size, the serpentine body, and the unique head. Some say it resembles an aquatic giraffe or camel with a snake's tail. Quite a peculiar image, isn't it? Over the years, more sightings followed. In 1937, the crew of the fishing trawler Viv encountered the creature. Captain Charles E. Graham described it as a long, hairy, tan-colored creature. This added a new layer to the mystery, suggesting that Claude might not just be a product of the sea, but perhaps a creature of a different origin. So, what could Colossal Claude be? A surviving plesiosaur? A misidentified whale? Or a giant jellyfish? Theories abound, but concrete evidence remains elusive. In the world of cryptids, Claude stands tall, or should I say, swims deep, as a captivating mystery. As we swim through these historical accounts, we can't help but wonder about the blend of fact and folklore that gives life to legends like Claude. But what about the people who claim to have seen it? What stories do they have to tell? Claude isn't just a creature of sightings or reports. It's a figure woven into the rich tapestry of local mythology. The Pacific Northwest, with its deep indigenous roots, our storied past, is a breeding ground for legends, and Claude has become part of this mystical landscape. For decades, his stories have circulated among fishermen, sailors, and residents along the Columbia River. Each sighting adds a layer to the legend, painting a picture of a creature as elusive as it is fascinating. But where do these stories intersect with culture? In Oregon, Claude has become more than a cryptid. It's a symbol of mysterious and unexplored. From artwork and books to films, Claude has inspired a myriad of creative expressions, capturing the imagination of artists and storytellers alike. This brings us to an intriguing question. Why do such legends endure? Perhaps it's our inherent love for mysteries or the thrill of the unknown. Claude, much like other legendary creatures, represents our quest to understand the unexplained, to explore the depths beyond our reach. As we ponder these tales, let's not forget the personal accounts and encounters with Claude. These stories bring a human element to the legend, bridging the gap between myth and reality. It's time to share stories and encounters from those who have claimed to have come face to face with this mysterious sea monster. Our first tale comes from an eyewitness named Emily. She recounts a foggy morning on the Columbia River. She was kayaking when she saw something large and shadowy beneath the water's surface. At first she thought it was a log, but then it moved, undulating in a serpentine fashion. Emily was both terrified and mesmerized. She didn't see it clearly enough to confirm it was Claude, but her experience left her wondering. Then there's the story of old Captain Jenkins, a seasoned fisherman. Jenkins claimed that back in the late 70s, while trawling near Astoria, he saw a large, snake-like creature with a horse-like head breaching the surface. He described its eyes as glossy and almost knowing. For years, he'd tell his story to anyone who'd listen at the local tavern. These personal encounters, whether real or imagined, add a human dimension to the legend of Claude. They remind us that sometimes the line between reality and myth is as fluid as the waters where Claude is said to reside. Throughout history, humans have been fascinated by the unknown. Cryptids like Claude captivate us not just because of what they might be, but because of what they might represent. The unexplored, the unexplained, the boundary between the known and the unknown. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, sightings of Claude continue to surface now and then. Some dismiss these as misidentifications or hoaxes, but for others, they represent a tantalizing possibility. Could there be unknown creatures lurking in the depths of our oceans and rivers? The ongoing fascination with Claude and other cryptids speaks to a deeper aspect of human nature. It's our curiosity, our desire to explore and understand the world around us. These legends challenge our perceptions and invite us to consider the mysteries that still exist in our modern, scientifically driven world. And so, the legend of Colossal Claude lives on, whether as a real creature, a misidentified animal, or a figment of collective imagination. It continues to hold a place in the folklore of the Pacific Northwest. It reminds us that the world is still full of wonders and mysteries waiting to be discovered. As we wrap up today's episode of Legends, Lore, and Lies, I want to thank you, our listeners, for joining us on this deep dive into the mystery of Claude. I'd also like to thank Emily for sharing her story and the reasons I looked into this tale. We've journeyed through history, legend, personal anecdotes, and continuing mystery that surrounds this legendary sea monster. Today's exploration reminds us of the power of storytelling and the human fascination with the unknown. Whether Claude is a creature of fact or folklore, it has captured our imaginations and offered us a glimpse into the mysteries that still lurk into the hidden corners of our world. As we conclude this episode, remember that the world is full of wonders, and stories like Claude invite us to look beyond the ordinary. They challenge us to question, to explore, and to dream about what might be lurking just beneath the surface of our understanding. And now, I turn to you. Do you have a story to share? Have you encountered the unexplained? Or do you have a local legend that sends shivers down your spine? I invite you to share your tales and experiences, just like Emily did. Reach out through our YouTube channel, Discord server, or email. Your story could be featured in a future episode, adding another thread to our ever-growing tapestry of tales.